far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land, glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Please be seated. Well, welcome everyone. My name is Franco Vaccarino, and I have the honor and the privilege of serving as the President and the Vice Chancellor of the University of Guelph. I want to take this opportunity to welcome all of you, our students, our faculty and staff who are here with us today, and a special welcome to our Mayor, Cam Guthrie, who has also joined us today. Let me begin by acknowledging the Ottawandaran people on whose traditional territory the University of Guelph resides, and offer our respect to the Anishinaabe, Haudenosaunee, and Métis neighbors as we strive to strengthen our relationships with them. Today, this gathering place is home to many First Nations, Métis, and Inuit people, and acknowledging them reminds us of our important connection, the important connection to this land where we learn and work. So students, I hope that your orientation went well. I know I bumped into a number of you at yesterday's pep rally. Quite the affair. It was great to see everyone out there. People seem to be having a great time, and I can see everybody fanning themselves today. It's real hot. You might think that that's just because of the reality of the temperature today, but actually it's part of our theme. We have a tropical theme today, so this is, we've actually elevated the temperature. No, it is what it is, but welcome to all of you. This is a time, this past week has really been a time to really connect with the university, your new home away from home. And I know that in the months and years ahead, you will be making all sorts of new friends, have new personal experiences, and new prospects ahead of you. I have a number of messages I'd like to share with you, but before I do that, I want to take this opportunity to invite our Mayor, Cam Guthrie, the Honourable Cam Guthrie, to the microphone to say a few words. And I have to tell you, our Mayor is an absolutely huge champion for the University of Guelph and, of course, for the city of Guelph. And we have all sorts of partnerships that we work together on and move forward on. So I'm delighted to introduce to you the Honourable Cam Guthrie.
Well, hello. How is everyone? Awesome. So very, very nice to meet you, and thank you, Mr. President, the faculty, the staff, but especially to all the students that are here today. Welcome to the UAG and welcome to the city of Guelph. Now, how many of you, raise of hands here, how many of you are from Guelph? Okay, so how many of you are not from Guelph? Wow. Okay, and the most important question, how many of you have already interacted with City of Guelph bylaws since you've been here? I see 2 hands down there. I am not proud of that. Just kidding. Thank you very much for already being very good citizens. I'm going to call you citizens of Guelph because you are now living here. You're going to be enjoying our community. And I just want to make sure that you all know that you're very, very welcome in our city. In fact, we were just talking, a staff member and I, on the way down here about the great vibe that we have in our city when the students arrive. It really makes our city unique and it's very, very special. One of the things I just want to leave you with is this. I know you're going to be busy. I get that. I know you're going to be overwhelmed maybe a little bit with all the new things that you're going to be having going on here as a student, especially with the workload. But if you have any time, at all, either individually or maybe as a group or some of you together to get together, reach out to some of the volunteer organizations in our city. See what help they need. Maybe it's just 1 hour a month that you might be able to give back to the community that you're going to be living in as citizens as you are here enjoying not only your school year but our city. So I just want to leave you that as a challenge, because Guelph is always known as one of the top volunteer cities across Canada, and we can't continue that trend of volunteerism without some of the help of the very people that are in this room right now. So thank you again very much for having me here, and welcome to the city. And if you want to follow me on Twitter, if you have any city kind of questions, it's @CamGuthrie. So go ahead and join me there, and I'll see you online and see you around campus. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much, Mayor Guthrie. Again, a great champion for the university and for the city, and we're very fortunate to have Mayor Guthrie as our mayor here as we work together on all sorts of exciting projects. So students, let me say a few words as we enter this academic phase of your orientation week. You've chosen an absolute top university. I should mention that, like many of you, I'm actually also fairly recently arrived at Guelph. I started my presidency here 2 years ago, and we were not from Guelph. My wife and I moved here, and it's an absolutely terrific community, and love the city, love the area, and of course the university. You've chosen, as I said, a top university. University of Guelph earns top marks for research, for teaching, and importantly for student support and the student support services. You will learn from award-winning professors conducting groundbreaking research and scholarship across a variety of disciplines. Students here, of course, represent among the very best students coming out of high school, because to be admitted here you needed fairly good marks to get in, and that's reflected in the quality of the students here today. I would also mention that 92% of our students return for their second year at Guelph, and that's one of the highest retention rates for any university in the province. It's an important statistic for you to keep in mind. University of Guelph also has one of Ontario's very highest graduation rates, meaning that the students who come in, a huge percentage of them actually end up reaching that finish line, and again reflects the quality of the experience here at the university. Much of our successes that relate to your experiences here, by the way, including the high marks that our graduates give for career and workplace preparation, another area that we get very good grades in. And I would say that many of our successes, in my view, are grounded in the supports that we offer our students. It's something we pay a lot of attention to. For example, the Center for New Students, our first-year seminar program, the Library Learning Commons, residence learning communities, supported learning groups, and our annual orientation program. These are important supports that I very much encourage you to keep in mind as you navigate through the months and years ahead, and take advantage of these services. They're absolutely first rate and run by outstanding staff that are here really to support you and to help you. Let me also say a few words about our community, our broader community, the Guelph community. Guelph has been rated as one of the best places to live in Canada. University of Guelph is known, as the mayor mentioned, for its commitment to community engagement, volunteerism, and compassion. It's also a community that's known for its inclusiveness. It welcomes and celebrates the difference and diversity among its members, including our students, our faculty, staff from diverse cultures, countries, and backgrounds. From academics and research to Griffin athletics to community engagement, the University of Guelph offers opportunities for you to succeed. And I really emphasize, seize those opportunities. We work hard to create them for you, and you will be all the better for it when you take advantage of those opportunities. Learn about your chosen field and about yourself, and engage with the University of Guelph community, and it'll be a terrific experience. I want to once again congratulate all of you for choosing the University of Guelph, and a reminder that you are not just the incoming students of 2016, but also University of Guelph's 2020 graduating class. So thank you all very, very much, and congratulations once again. Thank you. And now I'm pleased to invite Megan Wing, your CSA Academic Commissioner, to the podium to introduce our alumni speaker. Megan.
Hello everyone. As Dr. Vaccarino mentioned, my name is Megan Wing and I'm your Academic and University Affairs Commissioner for the Central Student Association, which is your student government body on campus. It's my pleasure today to introduce our alumni speaker, Steve Bell. Steve Bell received his BSc in 1996 and has been working in technology and entertainment for 20 years. His work includes Shrek, Madagascar, and How to Train Your Dragon franchises, and the mobile games Game of War and Mobile Strike. He lives in Mountain View, California. Please help me welcome Mr. Bell.
Welcome students, President, Vice President, Mr. Mayor, Deans and faculty, Griffins, new and old. Well, sorry, I wasn't saying that the faculty was old, it's just that they've been Griffins longer than the rest of us. I mean, I guess we are older than the students, but I wasn't pointing that out then, but I am now, but I wasn't then. So anyway, I hope everyone is having a great orientation week. I was humbled and honored when I was asked to give this address, but then I became a bit puzzled. Wait, you sure I was the right person to address this group? It's true that I've worked in a pretty wide variety of jobs, including a pulp mill, a gold mine, a movie studio, and a mobile game studio. But what have I learned from these experiences? And how did those experiences relate to what I learned here at Guelph? My initial thought was that I would offer wise words of advice from an old person, but really everyone is different, and so no one piece of advice would fit all. So rather than offering words of advice, I thought I'd take you through my journey and try to answer those questions of how my time at Guelph has molded my experiences post-graduation. I grew up in a little town in northern Ontario called Marathon. It was about 5,000 people when I was growing up, but not the kind of 5,000 people where there's a town of 100,000 people 20 minutes away. It's the kind of town that's 5,000 people where the closest stoplight is a 3.5-hour drive away. It's the kind where there are 100 kilometers of trees and moose in every direction, except for the south, which had amazing views of Lake Superior. So for me, my time at Guelph was my first exposure to a bigger populace with more cultures and races than I'd grown up with. It was the first time I'd ever heard of person-hole covers instead of manhole covers, and to this day I still provide my estimates in person months instead of man months. It was also my first time really spending time thinking about issues like racism and LGBT rights. When I first started at PDI DreamWorks, I met a super smart engineer who was drawn to the company because it offered same-sex benefits. This was back in the late 90s when this benefit was less common. This is so great, I thought. Here this company is getting a top-tier engineer simply because it has progressive benefits. I was incredibly impressed by the diverse culture. This approach can work on the individual basis as well. In your time at Guelph, I encourage you to also make as many connections as possible, partly because it's really fun and interesting to meet new people, but also because it's those connections that you'll be using for the rest of your life, for support, knowledge, and opportunities. I'd like to take a second for a quick quiz. You guys are students now, so you have to get used to pop quizzes. So what percentage of jobs would you guess are landed through personal connections? So get a number in your head. Did you guess 50%? You're too low if you did. Who guessed 78%? If so, that's oddly specific, but you're still too low. It turns out that 90% of jobs are landed through personal connections. So the people you meet here at Guelph will be as important as the foundation of knowledge that you're building. Don't limit yourself to people like you, or people that look like you, or people who think the way you think. One of Guelph's gemstones is its diversity. So I advise you to explore it, and it will benefit you, just as PDI DreamWorks benefited from being an early adopter to same-sex benefits. So back to Marathon. I did the 13-hour drive down to Guelph in the fall of 1991 to start my physics major. I picked physics because it was my favorite subject in high school, and I just thought that photons were super cool. And in my defense, photons are super cool. I did not, however, put a lot of thought into the kind of jobs you would get with a physics degree. It turns out most of these jobs require a PhD, and furthermore, people with PhDs in physics are super duper smart. Like, probably smarter than I am. So I also thought computers were super cool, and it was easier to find a job in computers. So what I've learned since then is that you aren't learning a body of knowledge in university so much as a methodology for thinking critically. My physics lessons didn't come up often when making movies, but sometimes they would when we're working with bound sliding or subsurface scattering. But what I did use on a daily basis was the same methodologies I used to solve problems in the physics lab. This time they would be used to fix broken shots or design an effect to go through the whole pipeline. So learning does not end when school ends. You'll end up learning your whole life. Try to find out what works for you. Are you socially motivated? If so, ensure you make it to class and consider organizing a group study lesson. Do you need time alone to digest the information? Ensure that you have a quiet place to go or take time out to go to the library. Find out what works for you because you're going to be using those skills for the rest of your life. In fact, learning itself is a reward for many things you'll do. In the book Drive, author Dan Pink argues that mastery is one of the top motivational factors for doing cerebral work. People are driven to learn new skills and get better at them, as shown by interest in learning a language, playing a musical instrument, or getting better at a video game. So one of the most important things you can do in your university career is learn how you best learn. Okay, so back to when I got to school. I showed up in these halls without much of a plan, and I did get through it, but I wouldn't recommend it. To quote the comedian Chris Rock, you can drive a car with your feet, but that doesn't make it a good idea. So yes, university is a great place to try different things and learn about what you like and what you don't like. Why not make that a goal? This is a great time to learn about philosophy if you've had interest in it, or take that astronomy course you've wondered about. Learn about yourself and get to know yourself. It'll come handy in the future. So when I started at DreamWorks, I envisioned a 10-year plan within my first month. I then changed roles about every 3 years, learning different jobs and facets of the company, planning my moves based on what I thought the company would need and reward. I ended up in the R&D group, but as a manager, not the shader writer that I had envisioned. I was happy with how it ended up, and possibly happier than I would have been if my plan had 100% worked. So the key here is that it doesn't matter so much if you hit your goals precisely, it's just that you are thinking ahead and planning your life around what you value. Life is going to throw you all sorts of curveballs, but you'll be ready for them if you have lifelong values to aim at. A study at the Harvard Business School found that only 13% of the MBA graduates had defined goals, and only 3% of them had them written down somewhere. The groups were interviewed 10 years later, and the study found that the 13% with the goals were earning on average, twice as much as the rest of the group. The 3% who had their goals written down were on average 10 times as high earners as the rest of the group. There are other important metrics, of course, than money, but this is just an example of the benefits of having goals. And one more thing I'd like to add. If you don't know what you're looking for, how do you know when you've gotten it? So in Marathon, it was pretty normal to work at the pulp mill or the gold mine, and I did both of those. When I graduated, I worked at the pulp mill for 8 months, and then I went to a flying gold mine operation 500 miles north. It was there that I got the phone call asking if I wanted to come to California to work on CG movies. How did it come that I got that phone call? Well, there's a 90% chance there was a connection, right? Yes, it was a connection. So when I would tell people this story later, they would ask me how that happened. How do you go from working at a gold mine near the Arctic Circle one week to sitting behind Steven Spielberg at a screening of a movie you're working on the following week? Okay, so I will say it, I did get lucky. However, the lesson learned for me is to not count something out just because you think the odds of it working out are low. Channel your inner Han Solo and say, never tell me the odds. Other times, I found I get paralyzed by fear of rejection. It's easy to get inside your own head and not attempt things because you're worried that you'll make a mistake or you'll fail. Here's the thing though, the worst thing that someone can say to you is no. You're going to end up hearing that a lot throughout your life, but you always end up with a yes at some point, and that's really all you need. So in fact, it's good to get used to hearing the no's, because you realize that they aren't a big deal, and you end up being a more resilient person. So if you remember one thing from this talk, it's that if you're interested in something, just try it. Let's say you see a job posting and you want to apply, but there are some desired skills that you don't have. Even if you don't match the job description at 100%, put in that application. Maybe the 20% that you don't match is the least important 20% to the employer. Plenty of people in your life will tell you that you can't do something, so you don't need to tell yourself that. That's for them to decide. You just tell yourself what you can do. There's a saying in Silicon Valley, fail fast. The idea is to just, the concept is to just try your ideas instead of thinking and deliberating over them. If they work out, that's great. If they don't, then pivot and move on. MZ was actually a dating site before they found out that people were engaging the most with each other on the embedded mobile games. Google X famously has a fail fast attitude, which enables them to make Google Glass in addition to Google Cars. If something isn't working, just kill it and pivot. This can be equally applied to your own education and careers. Oh, okay, I guess this did end up being a bunch of advice. I must have forgotten I said I wouldn't give advice. But that's kind of the thing that happens when you get old. So, one thing I'll never forget is the wonder people I met and the amazing experiences I had at Guelph. So to sum everything up, make connections and embrace diversity. Have a plan and write it down. Learn how you learn, and don't be afraid to fail. This one almost goes without saying, but you should be having fun when you're here. Paint the cannon. Learn that Thursday night is somehow part of the weekend. Stay up late philosophizing in your dorm room. You're never going to be surrounded by more people going through the same experiences around the same time in life, so be cognizant of that and enjoy your time. Please start by enjoying the rest of orientation. Thanks very much.
So this marks the beginning of a very important and special few years for you, and this is our celebration to welcome you onto campus. I'm Charlotte Yates. I'm the Vice President Academic and Provost at the University of Guelph, and so I take some degree of responsibility for your next 3 or 4 years of study. So with this, can I please ask, will the members of the 2016 entering class please rise? Mr. Vice Chancellor, I have the honor to present to you these scholars who have enrolled in the University of Guelph and ask that they be admitted to their various and several undergraduate programs.
By virtue of the authority vested in me and in the University of Guelph, I hereby admit you to the University of Guelph. Well done.
Congratulations to you all. Will the members of the 2016 entering class please be seated?
I know you're hot. I'm your last speaker. I'm Brenda Whiteside. I'm the Associate Vice President, Student Affairs, and I've seen a lot of you in the last few weeks, last few days. At least feels like a few weeks to me. The last few days we've been keeping you busy, quite intentionally meeting people, getting comfortable on campus. You may notice a shift in tone today, and this is deliberate. At this ceremony, you have senior administrations, deans, chairs, faculty, staff, all coming together in a formal setting to intentionally start to shift your focus to your academic journey. We do so with all the pomp and ceremony of convocation to signal that this is the official start, and 4, 3, 4, 5 years from now, you'll be coming back to graduate under a certain similar circumstances. We are here with you during that journey. We welcome you today as the newest members of the Griffin family. Now, what is a griffin? You've heard a lot about griffins lately. A griffin is a proud, mythical creature with the head, talons, and wings of an eagle and the body of a lion. When you arrived on campus this weekend, you were met by the griffin statue on the corner of campus. He sits on the books, protecting knowledge. This statue was designed and built by 2 of our faculty fastworms, with many of our alumni donors helping to make it so. The tradition is that you stroke its beak. It is said that those who walk by him and rub his beak will travel along a special pathway to the acquisition of knowledge. As the newest members of our community, we encourage you to engage in our tradition and have you rub its beak before the start of classes, hoping for a successful 4 years. This needs to be done before the start of classes, so if you haven't already rubbed its beak, please do so. On a cautionary note, the luck only works if you also go to classes, read your materials, and engage your faculty and TAs. When we speak of the Guelph Griffins, however, we are also speaking of more than a mythical beast. Griffins have some distinct qualities. Last night at the pep rally, you were introduced to a number of Griffins who spoke about their being Griffins. If you haven't seen that video, it's on our homepage, and I encourage you to watch it. I want to reiterate quickly. Griffins, first of all, are caring. You will already have seen that by the way you were welcomed on campus. Over the last few days, more than 1,000 returning students, staff, and faculty came to help you on your journey. Each of them was committed to helping you settle in. Please join me in thanking all of the OBs and staff for the work to get you in. I'm certain you're already feeling part of that caring and supportive community, but you've also probably quickly come to realize that Guelph Griffins are also respectful. We take pride in our campus and embrace the diverse voices and perspectives of all members of our community. We are also determined. We want you to stretch yourself and reach your goals. We know you will do so with integrity. We provide supports both academic and personal to help you on that journey. Don't be afraid to ask for help if you need it. And I know you already have seen how engaged Griffins are, both inside and outside of the classroom. We are not passive learners. Griffins seek out their faculty for more information. They volunteer both on and off campus. They join clubs. They engage in healthy opportunities. We urge you to take advantage of all that this institution offers. Find your passion. Your journey will be that much richer. And finally, Griffins are authentic. There is no mold here for which you need to conform. We celebrate our differences. We are proud of who we are. We encourage you to follow your unique path and find your unique passion. So you are now part of the Griffin family. You are now a Griffin. We urge you to adopt these Griffin commitments of being respectful, caring, determined, engaged, and authentic. We will be sending you an email about taking the Griffin Pledge. You can find it on the www.iamagriffin.ca. Encourage you to intentionally commit to becoming a Griffin. You are a Griffin for life. Our alumni are here today to help welcome you as well. So good luck over the next few years. We look forward to seeing you at Convocation 3 to 4 to 5 years from now. So following following the opening ceremony, there will be a barbecue, the president's personal barbecue for all entering students, and guests may attend. It's on the baseball diamond just up here on East, so you can go out these doors just behind me. For vegetarians, the vegetarian options are on the extreme right and left aisles of the barbecue. This is an opportunity to meet faculty and other students. We encourage you to go and spend some time. There's also a resource fair up there, and take advantage of what's offered up there for you to help with that journey. This ends the formal part of our welcome, but could you please rise and remain in your seat until the platform party has left. Welcome to the University of Guelph.
And as tradition has it, the president gets the final words. The final words are, "This welcome to students ceremony is dismissed." Congratulations to all of you.